Hey, y'all, just out on a walk and run here out at Weaselhead Flats, and just thought I'd jump on here and talk a little bit about why I renamed my YouTube channel from Bright Earth Music to Bright Earth Future. It's largely because there's more to me than, there's a greater soul urge than just music for me. It's also an urge to share some of my collected spiritual awareness, understanding, and of course, by the name Bright Earth Future, that clearly indicates what I'm leaning into, that I do believe we have a bright Earth future, despite all the craziness happening in the world. But of course, it's all a matter of understanding how you experience that. And I hope to offer thoughts that promote peace and harmony within people, and help them be at peace within themselves while they do the things that make sense for them to do, in response to all world changes and stuff. But anyways, there's one thought that's been coming to me recently to share. In my spiritual journeys a few years back, I got exposed to this one book called The Holy Science, written by a God-realized master named Swami Sri Yukteswar. And in that book, he outlines the great cycles of human consciousness on the planet. It's actually a cycle within a cycle within a cycle, but nonetheless, it's a 24,000-year cycle where human consciousness vacillates between abject material body-identified consciousness all the way up to pretty much full God realization, where most of humanity is able to fully comprehend God and able to contact that power and presence within himself and know him or herself as that power and presence. But anyways, the reason I think it's so, such a nice spot, I think it's such a important thing to think about right now is it's really easy to get sort of bummed out by the amount of craziness we're seeing in the world right now, and it seems like things are all going downhill. And in a way, absolutely, that's true. Things are being collapsed all around us, and I think it's on purpose, and I don't think it's a bad thing, because all corruption and everything has to come to the fore in order for the new world to emerge. And where we are in that cycle of consciousness is the important thing. Like, we're not going into the bottom of the arc where we're going into the dark ages. We're coming out of that bottom of the arc. So we just went through two back-to-back periods of 1,200 years of dark ages. There's the descending arc, 1,200-year period, and then the ascending arc, 1,200-year period. Now we're 300 years into the spiritual Bronze Age, which is a 2,400-year period, and it has a 200-year transitionary period. Now we're more than 100 years into the actual pure Bronze Age of man. And to me, that when that's given to you by a God-realized master, that helps me have confidence that all the craziness we're seeing in the world, it's, the Great Reset agenda, as it were, to technocratically enslave everybody, wipe out most of humanity. It's not going to work. They'll cause a bunch of trouble. Well, that's for sure. But it's not going to work, not in the long run, because it's, I feel, the divine plan as purported to us by the ones in direct contact with God's source universe. Those God-realized masters, purported by many to be able to perform miracles and knew things about people's futures well before they did. But anyways, I thought that was really good news, and always a good thing to keep bringing back to your mind. It's like we're in an awakening part of the cycle. Whenever you see something, bumming you out happening, something breaking down, or it seems like something big and bad is happening in the world, it's like you just remind yourself, this is part of our awakening process. This is how we awaken together. So it's what it looks like at this point. And it doesn't mean you turn a blind eye to everything. You still respond appropriately to people's situations, whatever's arising. Always respond appropriately to what is, but always keep your eye, your heart and your mind on God's spirit universe and its divine plan for our awakening and ultimate liberation. I feel like we are the new Israelites coming out from under Pharaoh. Except in our era, Pharaoh is that purposely cloaked group of people who's been running things from behind the scenes for all the many centuries. I think about 3,000 years or so. You know, that would make sense according to the cycle of human consciousness. And yeah, we're coming out from underneath them now. Of course, we just got to get through a bit of a shitstorm to do it. And it's going to happen, though. I think we can all rest assured have confidence in that, since we know that saying, there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. And why is that true? It's because it's God who decides which idea whose time has come. And you're not going to defeat the creator of all the universe. Doesn't matter how smart you are, how much data you have, or how many billions you have. If there's a lesson in it for you, he can teach you, show you a way where you can lose it all, which I think is probably what's going to happen to those who keep trying to push this evil agenda to keep humanity enslaved. And they may partly succeed for a while, but I think ultimately it'll fail. Anyways, I just wanted to leave that thought with you guys. All right, take care.